Hi, John Parrillo. We're back in the gym again, Parrillo.com, P-A-R-R-I-L-L-O. And Rob writes us and he says, how about push-pull type of routine for legs, calves, and lower back? Now, you usually really don't think too much push-pull with, especially with calves and lower back, but even with legs, push-pull are usually, that's where you work your pushing muscles together like your chest and triceps. So you start out, do your chest exercises, and then you finish up, and since it takes a lot of tricep to do chest, then you finish up with triceps, okay? Same one, pull would be back and biceps, so do your back exercises, you pull down your bent over rows, and then you use biceps in there, and then you finish up with biceps. Now and he says something to break up the norm is they're always a favorite and tough of everyone's, okay? So he really wants, okay, what do we do for legs, calves, and lower back to break up the norm? Okay, so we're gonna show you a few things here. So let's say a push-pull for the legs would be, if you go to the traditional sense of push-pull, is you'd work your several muscle groups, okay? Let's say you're squatting, so what do you use when you squat? Well, you're using your glutes, even your hamstrings, and your thigh muscles, your quadriceps. So what would be something to, let's say, break up the norm? So usually you do your squats and you do your leg extensions, leg presses, okay? So you can do your squats or your leg presses, but and so a lot of gyms, let's show you something here, and I'm going to have Heather. I have 65-year-old knees, and actually I don't even have a knee on this side, so Heather's had 4 knee operations, but she's still much more capable of doing this than I am. Let's say you don't have a Smith machine, or it's a lot of times when people use a Smith machine, it's so hard, they'll think they're doing sissy squats, but a lot of times they get their feet so far front and out of them, so far in front of them, they're really working a lot of glutes and hamstrings. So let's show you a really good isolation exercise we can do here on the hack squat. And I don't know why Heather hit stop, but here we go. Heather's going to show you, this is a great sissy squat exercise done on the, and I got to go back. We all the way back on this? Okay, sissy squat exercise done on a hack. Show them a traditional hack squat first. Okay, where your feet are up on the platform. Okay, so you're going down. Okay, now see she's using all of her legs. Now what we want to do is we want to totally isolate the quads. So watch where she's putting her feet, way back. Even get them back a little further. So she's getting her feet way down. Now notice her body is totally straight. So when she's going down, go ahead, going down. Look at. This is all, where do you feel that, Heather?
All in the quads.
All in the quads. So here, this would be a great finishing exercise, especially if you want to develop your quads, and especially your vasti muscles, the vasti lateralis, the vasti medialis, and intermedius, okay? So that's really going to work, and that's going to really develop the muscles, especially right around your knees. Okay, so that's a good one. Why don't you throw about 3 or 4 sets of those in when you're done with your squats and doing everything, and see if that doesn't change the mix a little bit. Okay, here we're back to Heather. Hi there. Okay, what else do you want to know? Calves. Now, something, we're going to get Heather to do these again too, so we're going to switch this back. Okay, this is an exercise, okay, way back when, this has to be 30 years ago or close to it, or 25 years ago. A bodybuilder was sent to me who had no calves, and he was getting into the teen nationals. He was going up against some pretty good guys, and he'd already won the Teen USA, but it was a real light competition. So in 5 weeks, we put 2 inches on his calves. And this is something an exercise I made up. We called it shit squats. And after you're done with either your seated calves or your standing calf exercises, you do shit squats. Now notice the the gastrocnemius crosses the knee joint and ties into the femur. So by bending the knee like this, the gastrocnemius really can't get any leverage. So all the leverage is going on the soleus. And now the soleus, now since the way we're doing this, watch this, come up and do them, Heather. She's coming up, wait, she's coming up and squeezing her glutes to her heels. Now that pushes on, that's flexing, basically really doing the soleus, and you can feel that. And you got to see how her body's moving up and down, and she's not just rocking back and forward, okay? But what that does is that pushes, as you're using the soleus, it kind of pushes it flat at the same time, and it makes it develop that diamond shape. So this will spread your calves out. It works real well. Okay, so you do this after your standing calves and after your seated calves. You throw in a set of about 20 shit squats. Okay, so that's a good exercise. Why don't you throw those into your routine? Okay, now back to me. And the other one was what? Lower back. So what do we do for the lower back? You work a lot of lower back in your squats and everything. If you want to isolate your lower back, the problem is you want to do it and you want to do it safely. In other words, you want to work the lower back muscles, which are here, which do this. But notice when I'm working my lower back, okay, when your back is very strong when your vertebrae are lined up. They can support a lot of weight. But what happens is when you put a lot of weight on your back and then you bow it or arch it too much, the vertebrae get up on the side and all that pressure goes right to the side of the disc. And that's when you can rupture or slip a disc and hurt yourself. So when you bow your back when you're squatting or something, that's usually when you hurt yourself. So the trick is to work your lower back without compressing your spine. So you can do it, you do it a couple things. If you have like we have a novelist lower back machine here. Okay, now notice the difference between working your lower back. If I bend like this, I'm working glutes and hamstrings, okay? If I bend like this, I'm working lower back. But we want to do this, and you can do it in a machine here, whoops, a novelist machine. Okay, and you can work the lower back, and it's really not compressing their spine. So now, if I keep my back arched and do it, it's glutes and hamstrings. Or you can come over here and do hyperextensions. Okay, same thing with hyperextensions. If I come out here and I keep my lower back arched, this is glutes and hams. If I kind of scrunch up in the machine and then bend my lower back, and I can pick up a weight if I need to, and come up, now it's a lower back exercise and not a glute and hamstring exercise. So, and both of these, you're not holding the weight on your spine and compressing the spine, okay? So let's say we work our lower back, of course we work our abs. Here's another exercise I've come up with, and because we've been working with a lot of people, a lot of older people, and even younger people that have some lower back issues. Okay, so here's a good one, because this one stretches you, and the problem is you can go real heavy on these, so you usually have to use straps or wraps, and even have somebody help get you in the machine. But you get on a pull-down machine, and this will give us a good stretch, and then you'll feel this. This is kind of when you work your abs, you can never really work them that heavy. Okay, so this is a way to work your abs really heavy. This is a way to condition the tendons and the connective tissue in your abs. Okay, without without compressing your spine. Okay, because a lot of ab exercises compress your spine. So there's 200 pounds on here, so it's about how much get down myself. So I crunch here, I arch my back, I bow my back, arch my back, bow my back, arch my back, bow my back. See what's happening? I'm pulling directly with my abs, and then come up. Now I do these because actually I do these, and these have really helped. As you get older, you end up with a lot of injuries, and I was a powerlifter, won the Ohio's in '86, But as you get older, you start feeling a lot of those injuries, and this really helps. Okay, I've shown this to a bunch of people, and they say this really helps. Number one, it gives them a good stretch. When they crunch down, they're really working the connective tissue. Now, normally when you do abs, you really can't go that heavy. Even if you use some weight, you can't. Like say, I was using 200 pounds on that. I could put the whole weight stack on there if I have somebody hold me in it and use wraps, and I can still do a bunch of reps. But it really strengthens that connective tissue in your abdominal area, and that seems to work real well. So I hope there's some things you can use, put it into your routine, break up the monotony, and have some new things to work on, and make the workouts a lot more fun. Just make sure, work out hard, make it hurt, and make sure you're recovering from the workouts. Make sure you eat right and get into proper nutrition, and we have some good supplements if you need them. So, John Parrillo, Parrillo.com. Hope that helps, Rob.